most of us live every day in firefighting mode. Something comes up, we handle it. A problem arises, we deal with it. We think we're controlling life, but in reality, we're just chasing after it. That's operational thinking, living by reaction, not by design. Imagine you're playing chess. Beginners only look at the next move, avoid losing a piece, dodge a check. Masters are different. They see the board, the patterns, and the next 20 moves ahead. They don't just play a move, they play the game. Life works the same way. Those without strategy ask, how do I get past this? Those with strategy ask, why does this keep happening? Strategic thinking is the ability to step back from the daily whirlwind and see the whole picture. Not pulled by what's urgent, but choosing based on what's important. Not drifting through days, but setting direction for years. And here's the good news. It's not a gift, it's a skill you can train. Every time you pause before reacting. Every time you ask a question instead of getting swept away by emotion. Every time you see a pattern instead of a single event, you're building your strategic muscle. They're not better than you because of talent. They're better because they think on a higher level. Now it's your turn. Where are you stuck in your life right now? Comment with a recurring problem that makes you feel like you're being pulled along, because maybe you don't need to try harder. You just need to step back and see the whole blueprint. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Victory Stoic if you want to keep learning how to live. Not by reflex, but by strategy. Do you know why so many people go through life without ever knowing what they're truly good at, where they fall short, where their opportunities lie, and what's quietly holding them back? It's not because they lack experience. It's because they've never stopped to audit themselves in a systematic way. They live like a company that never runs an audit, always busy doing business, but never reviewing the operations report. Then one day the company collapses and they blame the market. You're no different. How many times have you told yourself you know yourself, but when someone asks, what are your strengths, you give vague lines like, I'm pretty quick or I'm sociable. And when it comes to weaknesses, you casually say, I can be a bit impatient, but can't name the last time that weakness cost you an opportunity. You think that's self-awareness. But it's more like a doctor diagnosing the patient is a bit weak without ever running a blood test. If you want to live strategically, you have to start with a personal strategic analysis. And the simplest way is to treat yourself like the CEO of a company the company called you. A good CEO doesn't run things based on, I think it's probably this way. They rely on data, on numbers, on patterns. When was the last time you made an operations report on yourself? If the answer is never, congratulations, you've just found the reason you keep getting stuck. Start with a SWOT analysis, but don't do it like those half-baked workshop exercises. Instead of writing, I'm creative, ask, when was the last time I came up with a unique solution that actually worked, under what conditions? Instead of writing, I'm impatient, write, I quit Project A after 10 days because I didn't see results. Every item must be backed by a living example, not just a self-description. A strength isn't what you think you have, it's what others have actually seen you do well, and what you can repeat. A weakness isn't just something that annoys you, it's something that has derailed your plans more than once. An opportunity isn't, the market is growing, it's, I have 3 friends working in the exact field I want to move into, and I haven't reached out to them yet. A risk isn't, life is full of surprises. It's every time there's a small disruption, I'm willing to throw out my long-term plan. Want to do this right now? It's simple. Take a quiet morning, turn off all notifications, and sit with a blank sheet of paper divided into 4 quadrants: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, risks. Fill them with things that have actually happened in the past 1 to 2 years. No judgment, no sugarcoating, no self-soothing. You're auditing your company, not writing your memoir. Most people skip this step because it makes them uncomfortable. But that discomfort is the real mirror. And once you've seen clearly, you'll know what to keep, what to drop, and what to rebuild from scratch. If you keep living by the feeling of, "I'm doing okay," then sorry, your life will keep running on the same outdated operating system and keep producing the same old results. Many people don't fail because they chose the wrong path. They fail because they never chose a path at all. They just follow the trail right in front of them, and 10 years later realize they've gone far, but not where they wanted to be. I have a friend from university. After graduation, she got into a big company. The pay was enough, co-workers were nice, environment was fine. Every year she climbed a little higher. 10 years later, one day she told me, "I feel like I just woke up from a long sleep. I never thought about what I really wanted. And now I'm not sure I still have the time to start over." That's the tragedy of living without a vision. You just keep going until you realize you've ended up in the wrong place. A strategic vision is like the North Star for sailors. A ship in the middle of the ocean can face storms and be blown off course. But as long as the crew can still see the star, they know how to find their way back. Without vision, you drift with the waves. With vision, you know which waves to ride and which to avoid. The method is simple, but it must be serious. Imagine today is 5 years later. You wake up one morning. How do you feel? Peaceful, excited, free. Write down those feelings. Next, what skills do you have? Communication, financial management, a foreign language. Then what's your impact on people, on your community? Are you a mentor, a creator, a builder? Once you have the 5-year picture, work backward. If you want to speak Italian in 5 years, what level must you reach this year? If you want resilient health in 5 years, what training do you need in the next 6 months? If you want financial independence in 5 years, what must you start next month? Every big goal gets broken into 1 year, 6 month, and 1 month milestones. You don't need a perfect blueprint. A map that's 70% complete is still better than none. The key is, every time you face a choice, ask yourself, does this bring me closer to my 5-year picture? If the answer is no, drop it. A vision isn't for hanging on the wall. It's a living compass, the standard you use to say no to what doesn't matter and to focus your energy on what gets you to the right place. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you don't know your port, no wind is favorable." Many people live like they're trying to grow roses in a desert, and blame themselves for not working hard enough when the plants die. It's not that you lack willpower, it's that your soil can't hold water. I once knew a guy determined to quit smoking. He kept a pack of cigarettes in his desk drawer right next to a lighter and swore each morning, "Today, I won't smoke." He lasted 3 days. See the problem? Willpower isn't a rechargeable battery that lasts forever. It drains fast, and when it's gone, you'll go back to the easiest option. That's why strategic thinking doesn't start with, "I'll try harder," but with, "I'll redesign the playing field." Shape your environment so that success becomes the default, not the struggle. Want to read more? Put the book on your desk and your phone far away. Want to eat healthy? Don't buy junk food in the first place. Want to work out? Put your shoes right by the bed and commit to a workout buddy you can't easily bail on. Don't trust willpower when your environment is built to break it. Think of yourself as a stream of water. Water doesn't climb mountains, it flows in the easiest direction. Your environment is the slope of that flow. Tilt it the right way and you'll move forward without needing to push yourself every day. Tilt it the wrong way and you'll slide downward without understanding why you're weak. Here's a very practical method. Write down 3 habits you want to build and 3 habits you want to quit. For each habit you want to build, ask, does my environment make this easier? For each habit you want to quit, am I keeping the materials it needs to survive? If the answer makes you squirm, you found the point to adjust. Your environment is your silent coach. It says nothing but determines 80% of your results. Willpower is the spark, your environment is the fuel tank. If you want the fire to last, secure the fuel first. Once you've designed an environment that works for you, everything becomes easier. But don't mistake that for being enough. A good environment can help you run faster, but it can't run for you. And here's where many people fool themselves. They wait for someone to show up and use that new environment to lead them to the finish line. They think they're ready, just missing a helping hand. That's where the mistake is. Many people live like the main character in a superhero movie. Except it's the version where the hero hasn't shown up yet. They imagine that someday someone will knock on their door, hand them the golden opportunity, pull them out of the swamp, and give them a clear path. They wait for a mentor. Wait for the opportunity. Wait for the right moment. And they wait until they're old. Bad news, no one is coming to save you. Good news, you don't need anyone to save you. There's no contract saying life has to be fair to you. No warning before disaster strikes. No rescue hotline for those who've lost their way. That's the game. And when you stop waiting for someone to change the rules, you start learning how to play by them. Think of yourself as a ship at sea. Storms are certain. You can sit there hoping the Navy will appear and tow you to shore, or you can learn to steer past your hull and navigate by your own star. The one who waits for rescue will curl up and let the waves pound them. The one who knows no one is coming rose and rose from this minute. I once met someone who lost his job during a crisis. He had no one to help, no capital to borrow, no connections to pull him up. But instead of waiting, he started cold calling to sell small services package by package, saved enough to rent a small space, and rebuilt his career from there. No miracles, no benefactor. Just the realization that every day spent waiting is a day lost in both strength and time, which no one will return to you. When you understand that no one is coming to save you, you stop demanding the world to care about you. You start caring for yourself by acting. And the smallest action today, rewriting your resume, learning a skill, running one lap in the park, is the first stroke of the oar. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This strength isn't about defeating everything. It's about not giving up when no one is standing beside you. No one is coming to the rescue, and that's the best part. Because once you understand this, you'll stop waiting and start standing. And every road, no matter how long, begins at that moment. Once you've accepted that no one is coming to save you and you've started rowing, the next question is simple: what are you rowing with? Every ship needs fuel, and in life your fuel is time, energy, and skills. These three are your core capital. Use them up and you stop. Use them wisely and they multiply. Most people use their capital like lottery winners, spending recklessly, then acting surprised when they end up broke. They spend time on empty conversations, energy on meaningless arguments, and skills on work that doesn't bring them any closer to their vision. They don't realize every unit of time, energy, and skill is like a seed. Plant it in the right soil and it multiplies tenfold. Scatter it on rocks and it dies in a single sunny day. This mindset changes the whole game. Each morning you wake up, imagine you've been handed a small bag of seeds. You have a limit: 24 seeds of time, an amount of energy seeds based on your health, and a set of skill seeds you've accumulated. If you plant them in the right place, you'll grow fruit trees for the future. If you plant them in barren soil, you lose both the seeds and the opportunity. Example, you spend an hour in the morning, a time seed, learning a new skill, a skill seed, while your mind is fresh, an energy seed, 3 seeds planted in fertile ground. The effect multiplies, leading to a long-term harvest. On the other hand, if you wake up and use all 3 seeds to scroll social media, the soil you're planting in is just dry sand. Optimizing resources doesn't mean living stingy, it means living like an investor. You're always asking, if I plant this seed here, will it grow or will it die? This question applies to every decision: who you meet, what you learn, what you work on, how you rest. And here's a secret: these 3 resources can trigger a compounding effect. Increasing your skills can help you save time. Saving time can help you recover energy. Having more energy can help you learn skills faster. When all 3 gears spin in sync, you'll go farther without forcing it. No one goes bankrupt from using their resources poorly for a single day. But if you plant seeds in barren soil long enough, don't ask why your harvest is empty. And if you plant in the right place every day, don't be surprised when one day you step outside and see a lush garden that's the result of a strategy optimized from the roots. Once you know how to optimize your time, energy, and skills, you're like someone who's built up a treasure. But having treasure without knowing how to protect it is like building a mansion on the beach without thinking about the tide. One strong wave can wipe it all out. That's why the next strategy is risk management. Risk is not the enemy. Seneca once wrote, "He who is prepared for everything fears nothing." Risk only becomes disaster when you're blind to it, or worse, when you think you're immune. There are 2 types of risk: stupid risk and smart risk. Stupid risk is losing a lot for little gain, like putting all your savings into crypto because a buddy said it's a sure thing. Smart risk is losing little for a chance to gain a lot, like giving up one evening to meet someone who could become a business partner, a client, or even a life partner. And love is the perfect stage to see both types. Stupid risk in love is diving into a relationship when you know the other person just broke up, still stalks their ex every night, and says, "I just need time." You're not in love. You're applying for a visa to a war zone. Smart risk is saying yes to coffee with someone you're not sure is your type, but knowing that even if it doesn't work out, you only lose an hour and a latte. Worst case, you get a story to tell. Best case, it's the rest of your life. In risk management, there's a valuable concept: asymmetric risk, where the worst case scenario still leaves you intact, and the best case scenario could change the whole game. Dating is like that: worst case, you have an anecdote for friends. Best case, you have a new chapter in your life. And here's where many people get it wrong: a plan B isn't cowardice. A plan B is your lifeboat, and sometimes it becomes your main ship. History and life are full of side projects that became the greatest achievements. Love is the same. Sometimes the relationship you didn't expect becomes the harbor you stay in the longest because you were open enough to see its real value. Risk management isn't about living timidly. It's the art of staying in the game long enough to keep playing. A wise warrior isn't the one who charges into every battle. It's the one who knows which battles are worth winning and which to walk away from, so they still have strength for tomorrow. As Epictetus said, a ship should not ride on a single anchor, nor life on a single hope. Once you've learned how to protect yourself from risk, the next question isn't, how do I survive? But how do I keep rising? Survival just keeps you in place. Growth moves you forward. And here, the strategy isn't to learn everything. It's to learn the things that make you learn everything else faster. I call these meta skills. If ordinary skills are bricks, meta skills are the mold that makes the bricks. If you're good at writing, you can learn almost anything faster because you can express it clearly. If you're strong in critical thinking, you can filter information better and avoid learning garbage. If you're skilled at time management, you create more hours to master other skills. Investing in meta skills is like oiling the machine. Every other gear spins more smoothly. The Stoics have a lesser-known line: if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. If you want to learn deeply, you must endure the awkwardness of the beginner stage, be willing to break your ego, to make room for the new. People who avoid the feeling of being dumb stay trapped in the comfortable lie of "I already know." And that's the line of someone who stopped learning. For example, instead of picking up 10 random skills in a year, choose 2 meta skills to master. If you're in business, those could be persuasive writing and data analysis. If you're a student, they might be rapid memorization and logical reasoning. Every new meta skill is like opening a fresh input channel for your brain. A year from now, you'll find you can learn anything twice as fast. The method is simple, but it demands discipline. 1. Choose 1 to 2 meta skills to focus on for 6 to 12 months. 2. Find the highest quality resources you can: books, mentors, courses. 3. Apply them to real situations as soon as possible. Learning without applying is like reading a menu while starving. And here's the fun part. By constantly investing in meta skills, you create a compounding growth loop. Every skill you learn comes faster and works better, which then makes it easier to learn other skills faster still. Eventually, people will say you're naturally smart, when in reality, you just built the frame before trying to build the house. There's an uncomfortable truth many won't admit in life. Who you know can matter as much as what you know. You can be brilliant, but if you live like a fish in your own tank, never swimming into the river, no one will even know you exist. And don't mistake networking here for transactional schmoozing or spamming people like a pushy insurance agent. A real network is like an ecosystem. You plant trees, care for them, they give shade and fruit, and the birds and bees arrive on their own. The problem is many people build networks like keeping wild animals in a cage. They only open the door when they need something. So when they suddenly need it badly, nothing comes near them. Building a lasting network starts with creating value first. You connect 2 people who could help each other. You send someone a useful insight without asking for anything in return. You show genuine interest in others, not just when it benefits you. Think of your network like a dinner party. The most welcome guest isn't the one who says, "I'm here to eat," but the one who says, "I brought this to share." If you move through the world asking, "Can you help me with this?" you're a diner. If you move through the world saying, "I think this might help you," you're the host. Starting is simple. Each week, think of 2 people you could introduce to each other so they can both benefit. Each month, send a message to someone just to check in or share something useful without asking for anything. Thoughts. When meeting new people, listen more than you speak. No one dislikes a good listener. And here's the best part: when you nurture this ecosystem properly, it begins to grow on its own. Someone you once helped will introduce you to someone else. Opportunities will find you without you having to chase them. At that point, you'll understand why some people always seem to be in the right place at the right time. It's not luck. They planted seeds long ago. As Marcus Aurelius said in a line few people quote, "What is not good for the swarm is not good for the bee." A network is strong when everyone benefits, and you are strong when your network is healthy. When it comes to money, most people operate in one of 2 modes: spending for pleasure or saving for peace of mind. Few use money as a strategic tool. That's why many people work their entire lives and still never achieve true freedom. Then they just move from having a paycheck to having a savings account, and then back to worrying again. Money isn't a magic cure, but it is a tool. No one builds a house with a teaspoon, and no one builds freedom by spending impulsively. In financial strategy, every dollar you hold should do one of 2 jobs: protect you from risk or open the door to new opportunities. A simple example: buying health insurance is protection. Paying for a new skill that can increase your income is opportunity. But buying an ab machine just to hang your clothes on, that's not investment, that's a donation to the fashion industry. The problem is, most people spend money the way they shop for groceries, while hungry grabbing everything that looks good, only to get home and find the bag full of snacks and soda, nothing to make a real meal. The strategy is to spend when your mind is full, not when your emotions are starving. Here's how to start. Before buying anything, ask, does this protect me or open an opportunity? If the answer is no or not sure, put the wallet away. Set aside at least 20% of your income for investment or risk buffer. Munur. For treat yourself purchases, wait 7 days. If you still want it after a week, buy it. In 80% of cases, you'll forget about it. As Epictetus put it, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Spend less on impulse, more on what creates long-term value. That's how money works for you, instead of you working for money all your life. Once you know how to use money to buy freedom, the next step is to use your attention to pay interest on that freedom. Because if you buy yourself free time, but let it leak into meaningless distractions, you've just swapped busy for money, for busy for junk information. Time and attention are not the same. Time is the frame. Attention is the content. Everyone has 24 hours, but attention is finite, and when it's spent, your day is over, even if the clock says it's only 3 p.m. Most people use attention like they shake salt heavy-handed at the start, only to find everything bland by the end. Deep work is how you save your finest salt for the main course. Choose one important task, pour all your attention into it, and guard it against everything that dilutes it. Notifications, messages, just 5 minutes of scrolling. Deep work is like locking your brain's office door, hanging a sign that says, "In a closed meeting," and refusing entry, even to your own procrastinating self. This is especially vital during your golden hours, the time of day, when you are most alert and clear-minded. For many, that's early morning. For others, it's a few hours after exercise or a refreshing shower. Golden hours are not for busy work, pointless meetings, or inbox cleaning. Golden hours are the safe you store your most valuable work in, and the safe only opens when you're ready to put something worthwhile inside. To protect your golden hours, treat them like an unbreakable appointment. If someone asks, you're busy. If your phone rings, it can wait. If the thought, I'll just check for a second, pops up, remember, every check for a second is like pulling a stack of cash out of the safe without realizing it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You could be good today, but instead, you choose tomorrow." It's a simple sentence that slices right through the sweet habit of procrastination so many people cradle like a pet. Managing your attention is the only way to make sure today isn't stolen by tomorrow. If you can manage your attention, you've got gold. But gold sitting in a vault is just metal. The real value comes when you use that gold to buy the right decisions. And that's what separates the merely busy from the truly advancing the quality of the decisions they make every single day. Most people see decisions as separate stones. Choose something today, then start from scratch tomorrow. Strategic thinking sees decisions as stacked layers. Each good choice today becomes the foundation for a better choice tomorrow. This is decision stacking, building a chain of choices where each link raises the next one. Picture this. You decide to wake up early, decision 1, which gives you your golden hours for deep work, decision 2. That deep work goes well, so you confidently take on a bigger project, decision 3. These aren't isolated actions, they're steps on a staircase. Climb the first step and you're in position to reach the next. The reverse is also true. One bad choice can stack downward. You stay up late just this once. Wake up late and lose your golden hours. Push important work to the tired part of the day. Rush it, do it poorly, and lose credibility. Each weak link drags the next one down until you consciously break the chain. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Your thoughts show themselves most clearly in your decisions. If you want a different life, start with your very next choice. It doesn't have to be monumental, just a brick laid in the right place. Here's how to put it into practice. Each morning, choose one quality decision you will make that day. e.g., call the difficult client instead of avoiding them. Record the result and ask yourself, what good decision did this open the door to for tomorrow? Learn to spot the chain so you can build it on purpose instead of letting it form by accident. When you see your life as a building, every decision becomes a brick. You'll place each one more carefully, and one day you'll look up and see you've built something others will think is luck or natural talent, when really, it's your structure. Closing. You've just walked through a series of strategies from self-awareness, vision, and environmental design to resource optimization, risk management, skill building, networking, time mastery, and decision making. Each strategy is a gear. One gear turning alone won't do much, but when they mesh together, they become the engine of your life. The question is, will you let that engine run on its old programming? The same code that got you exactly where you are now, or will you rewrite it? To live without strategy is to let other people decide your path. Every day that isn't designed by you is a day pre-programmed by someone else. It's the easiest road to walk, but it's also the surest way to end up somewhere you don't want to be. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Life strategy works the same way. No one can stop you from rewriting your story except you. Right now, you have a choice. Keep playing a game where someone else makes the rules, or start designing the game you want to live. You don't need 5 more years. You don't need someone to knock on your door. That choice begins with what you do in the moment you close this video. If what I've shared today has value for you, leave a comment with the strategy you'll apply first. Like this video if it hit home, share it with someone who needs a wake-up call, and subscribe to Victory Stoic so you don't miss the next tools to help you live, not by reflex, but by strategy. Your life is your most important project. Don't outsource it.